Hey guys, it's Jake with AG Russell Knives. Today we're going over opening mechanisms. We're going to start a new series called Knives 101. It's going to be a series where we kind of get into the basics of knives and kind of advance from there. So if you want to learn more about knives, this will be a great series for you. We're going to put this out at least once a month, maybe more often, just depending on how much feedback we get and how much time we can
Yeah, it just
do
depends
it in.
on time, probably, more than anything.
So we wanted to shake up the knife overviews, which we're definitely going to continue to do. We just don't want to do only those. It's not much fun. So if there is a particular topic you guys want us to cover for this series, let me know in the comments. So let's get started. First, we're going to start with the Thumbstud.
So we're going to start with Thumbstuds first. This is the A.G. Russell Lightning Bug. It's a very popular model of ours that features a Thumbstud, a traditional Thumbstud, one-sided, not dual, which being lefty I would prefer, but you know, it is what it is. So with Thumbstuds, all you're doing is placing your thumb underneath the stud and swinging the knife open. You can control how quickly or how slowly you open a Thumbstud knife. That's one of the reasons I really like them. It's my preferred method of opening a knife. So with, you can open it slowly like that, or you can give it a flick and open it quickly. They're just really kind of one of the most common opening mechanisms and just really useful. So that is a traditional Thumbstud, and then you have the Aces, which is one of our newer models. It's probably been out for, what, 6-8 months, something like that?
Yeah, it's a remake of an old one, but definitely some new features on it.
And this one features a tilted or slanted Thumbstud made so that you can get your thumb under it a little bit easier. You basically place your thumb underneath, same as you would the traditional. The difference with this one, when you have a slanted one, it's a little bit harder to control the speed. Basically, these are made to flip open quickly. So you're going to place it under and just flip it open. Jake calls it the marble flick, like you're flicking a marble.
So you're not going off to the side. You definitely going straight up the blade.
It's so that gets your thumb out of the way of the blade as well. You're not messing up the rest of the open. And this is dual-sided, so you can do it left-handed too, which is fantastic. So, and then what do we got next, Jake?
Let me show you the Kershaw Blur, one of their very popular, one of the most popular Kershaw models. They have many variations. Also has the tilted thumb studs. This one is spring assisted, so I don't really need to put any pressure on it. It just kind of opens up. All I have to do is break the seal here, push it past the ball detent, which we'll get into that at a later episode. But very, very smooth knife, really easy to use. It's got that. This one's tilted straight up, and so you just kind of push it right out. One thing to keep in mind with thumb studs is not all of them are really designed to be easily usable. I think a good example would be the Kershaw Leak. I don't think I had that. I don't have that available to show you. I'll pop up a picture here. But that one is, the thumb studs are there and you can use them. I've just found that they're difficult to use because they're more designed as a blade stop rather than a blade opening mechanism.
Yes, and on most of those knives where you have that, they usually feature a flipper as well. Basically, they're giving you the option, but they're really pushing you towards one way. So
a blade stops the blade from going all the way and extending past your open position here. So this one has a pin in the back, and that stops it right there. Some use the thumb studs to hit and come into contact with the handle, and that's their blade stop. So that's what I'm talking about with the Kershaw Leak. But yeah, I definitely like that thumb stud. You can control the speed, which is nice.
Yes.
Let's get into flippers here. This is probably the second most popular.
Definitely.
Maybe not second, one of the most popular.
Yeah,
the top two between thumb studs and flippers.
Yeah, they're definitely the two most common.
So this has a little. It's an extension on the blade here. So let's say I open it slowly here, and so it is part of the blade. It goes into the handle, swings around, and pops out the back here. So this has a sort of trigger here, and what you're going to do is you're going to pull back just like on a trigger here, And the nice thing about flippers is you can do it right hand, left hand, and it's really easy to use either way. Downside, there's a couple downsides to the flippers, is you can't really control the speed typically. Usually it's just kind of a, it's open or it's not type of thing.
Yep.
And then it also sticks out a little bit in the pocket, so it comes up to your pocket right here, and it's sticking out in the back. So as you're digging it in your pocket, you might scrape your hand on that flipper there. There are different flipper designs. Some are better than others. This one's pretty smooth over, but some have like an aggressive jipping on them.
Yep. And that kind of leads into the next knife we have here. This is a ZT055. As you can see, it has a flipper, but its flipper is on a little pivot here that keeps it in with the frame when it's in your pocket, so you don't run into the issue. With our Sinuette, you run into the issue of possibly reaching in there, and while that one's smooth, it does stick out. So this one, the difference being that it's set up in there flush with the frame. When you pull it down to here, you've engaged it, and it acts same as it would with any other flipper. It just flips right out. So it's just a unique knife. It's one of my personal carries. I really...
What's the model number of this one?
This is a ZT055.
055, yeah.
Yep. So it's a just kind of a unique design, and I just really, when I saw it, I was like, it's one of those gotta have it things. So it happens a lot around here.
Yeah.
You run into something, you're like, ooh, I like that, and it ends up in your pocket. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a modified flipper, and that's all there is to it.
All right, next on the knife opening mechanisms, we have the blade hole. There's a hole in the blade, and that is designed to be used to open the blade. Very similar to the thumb stud, we're going to use it by putting the meat of your thumb into the hole and pushing it open. So this is the K93, one of AG's favorites. It was his favorite for the longest time, decades, until it was replaced with the Gents Hunter, which we'll get to here in a second here. But he never stopped carrying it.
No, he usually carried it in the Kydex neck sheath, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he had it on him. I'm thinking about trying that.
Yeah, I mean, they're really well made. I mean, I've fitted a bunch of them in there.
It's thin, it's lightweight. I like it when I'm wearing gym shorts because it's just so light.
Yep.
It doesn't have that pocket clip; it just slips in. So yeah, this one's got the thumb hole, real easy to open and close. Next, you can't talk about thumb holes and not talk about the Spyderco hole, the Spidey hole.
Yep.
Big, round, ugly as sin.
I don't really like the aesthetics of it either, but it is extremely useful.
It's so practical.
It really is.
I resisted buying one for the longest time, and it said I couldn't get over the looks, but it is just so useful.
Yep. I started with the regular and then ended up going to the Bird series, which is a little bit bigger opening. It has kind of a beak on it almost.
We'll pop a picture up.
Yeah, and I really fell in love with that, just the usefulness of it and being able to operate it with gloves, or if you had, if your hands are sweaty or something like that, like sometimes you can't get a thumb stud with that. It just goes in there and it's just it's right open. So just one of those that I really, really enjoyed.
This one has the slow open, just like a thumb stud. It's got the fast open with the marble flick, and then there's also what's known as the Spyderco flick, the Spidey flick. So you're gonna put your middle finger in the bottom bit of the hole here, and you're gonna flick it out. I did it, almost did it first. There we go. I'm terrible at it. I'm not a Spyderco flicker. Sorry guys, I just do the marble flick. It's just easier for me. But come on now. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Marble flick all the way. You Spidey flickers are impressive and weird. Next, let's get into the deep nail nick.
Yeah, so up next we have nail nicks. This particular one is a deep nail nick, and this is the Folding Gents Hunter 2. And we have this in this color as well as a couple others. AG's favorite was the carbon fiber version. He would flick it constantly in the store all the time. So It's one of the smoothest knives we've really produced, and it's got a very deep nail nick right there, and it makes it so easy to get your thumb in there and swing it open. And you can swing it open slowly like a thumb stud, or you can do the marble flick and really shoot it out there, which is one of the things that AG really adored about it, was how quickly and easily it was deployed. So it's basically just a little variation on a traditional nail pull or nail nick, whatever you want to call it. But it's one of our best knives that we produce.
You can also do the what's known as the butt flick. So you're gonna hold it at the top here and flick it down. It's hard to do sitting down. And then AG also did the hand flick, which I can't do sitting down. It's just, but you flick your hand down you flick it down and pull back, and it will pop open.
AG was the master. I believe he could do more with a knife at age 85 than I probably can.
It's true.
In the rest of my life, like it was impressive. Like he would do it without just. It was very impressive. So
next we get into the long pole. So this is a type of nail nick. This one is a long, you can see here, goes along the blade here. It's going to be on both sides. And similar to the deep nail nick, you're just going to put the meat of your thumb into it and swing it open. This one you can't do the marble flick like you can with the deep nail nick.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slow open, very traditional.
Yeah, it's very much a traditional knife. It's not designed to be your tactical, quick deploy kind of thing. Definitely just a real unique take on a traditional knife is basically what it boils down to.
This is the Rancher, one of our newer remakes here. We've added a pocket clip.
Yep.
Check out our recent review on that. We recently did that.
Yep.
Next, let's talk about the regular nail nick. You can't not skip the regular nail nick.
Yeah, it's been around for years and years. Any company that does traditional knives is going to be doing them. I mean, you've got Case, all the Case and Boker are current companies using it. We use it all the time. Obviously, your old timers and your Schrade, Chatton Morgan, Queen.
Yeah.
All of those companies.
Everybody who makes traditionals is using a regular small nail nick in at least one of their models, probably most of them.
Yep.
So this is the doctor's knife. We put the desert ironwood scales on here. It was not made here. It was made in China by one of our best manufacturers, but we put this particular scale on.
It's not limited, but it is not something that we're going to produce a ton of. I think so far we've made somewhere in the realm of 30 of them, and I don't think there will be that many more made.
Yeah.
So.
But you can see the scale. Since we're the ones putting it on, we could just choose them and they just turn out fantastic.
It's definitely a high quality material that we're using. Our knife maker goes through and picks out the particular pieces that he wants to work with, and they're generally, he's a very picky individual, and they turn out to be very, very good looking knives. So up next we have a Benchmade 940. It's an Osborne design. And this is actually the axis lock, but the axis lock can be used as an opening mechanism. I'm a big Benchmade fan. I tend to carry a Benchmade most of the time. I just find them very easy to use, and part of the reason why is because the axis lock can be used as an opening mechanism. As you can see, the knife does have a dual thumb stud, and it can absolutely be used in that manner, so you can easily slowly open it or use the marble flick on the thumb stud and operate it that way with absolutely no problem. But you can also use the axis lock as an opening mechanism. If you pull down on the axis lock, you can see the blade disengages from the ball detent, and then basically you're just going to flip it the rest of the way and release the lock to make it lock into place. So it's just flip open, flip close.
Great fidgety knife. Many will take a little time to break in to get quite to that point. The 940 is usually already at that point.
The 940 is one of Benchmade's more popular models. It comes in all different colors and
green,
materials.
black, carbon fiber, and
yeah.
2 different blade styles, the reverse tanto and the spear point.
Yep.
We'll put links in the description, of course.
Yep, and it's just one of my favorite knives to use, and I think it's unique that a locking mechanism is also an opening mechanism. I just think
it's cool.
It's a fantastic design.
Next, we're going to get into the thumb discs. So this one is the Kershaw XCOM. Very unique, not unique, but very cool kind of dagger style blade here. You got that extended guard.
Yeah, I would call it more of a guard than anything.
Yeah. So that's just so you're not slipping forward on the blade here. But we have, for the opening mechanism, this disc. So there is a little bit of, I'm going to see if I can get it to focus here, a little bit of texturing on that disc, and that allows you to open the blade. You can do it slowly, just like with a thumb stud, by pushing your thumb between the disc and the handle here and pushing up and over. Or you can do, again, the marble flick, and again, see how it's just kind of like that, so you just kind of pop it open here. So I'm trying to show you on camera, but it's an awkward angle. There we go. So yeah, the XCOM, really, not all thumb discs work quite that well. I've found that there are many of them that I don't like. They're actually not quite that nice, but on the XCOM, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, and for the price, it's a very affordable knife. For the price, it's very well
it's like 30
done.
bucks.
You do see some discs in different shapes, and sometimes the shapes have a lot to do with it. Crudo tends to do different designs.
Yeah, they're
and
very
stuff.
unique thumb studs on theirs.
Yeah, you'll see triangles, kind of oval shapes, all different shapes, and really it comes down to, can you get a good grip on it? And some of them you can get a grip on, some of them you can't, and that tends to make a lot of the difference between whether you like it or not. The next knife we have is a Kershaw as well. It's an Emerson design with the Emerson Wave. This knife is very similar to one that I personally own that's a zero tolerance model, but it's very, very similar. And I absolutely love that knife. They tend to be a little bit heavier. I don't know the reasoning behind that, but they do. This one also has a thumb disc, but as you can see, the little wave feature right here is what makes this knife what it is. And essentially the wave is an opening mechanism that when it sits in your pocket and you pull it out, the wave catches on the corner of your pocket, and as you pull it out, it opens coming out of your pocket. It's very popular with first responders, military, just because whenever they pull it out, it's already ready to go. It's a very unique design. Like I said, I love my model that I have, and I haven't run across one with a wave that I haven't liked. It takes some getting used to, and the first time you open it, you may want to wear some old pants. I know Jake has...
I cut my jeans the first time I tried.
So you may want to wear some old pants first couple times you give it a shot, but it's definitely a knife worth having.
It's super cool. It's one of the fastest deploying ones.
Yeah, I just really, really like it. But yeah,
we'll show you it in fast speed here. All right, so now we get to the extended Tang. So here we have the Mantis Friction Folder. You can see this Tang sticks way out here. And so that is designed so that you can use your thumb and push it open. Just kind of swing it open over here. And I'm going to move my other fingers out of the way and hold it like that. So your hand actually functions as the lock by holding the Tang close to the handle here. So that is the lock. Many people have moved away from friction folders, but I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique thing. It's one of those things, if you're a knife collector, you might want to have in your collection. Maybe not to carry, but just to have. And I know whenever I think of them, I think of like Japanese culture and things like
Very
that.
Very traditional Japanese kind of design.
And some of them you'll see, as a matter of fact, our next one, some of them you'll see with locks. But you will see the traditional friction folder with no lock or anything like that.
So here we have another version here with the extended Tang. Again, you're just going to bring your thumb and just bring it around slowly. This is the Higo knife out of Japan. by, how do you say it?
Nigiri.
Nigiri. I'm going to get that down. That's probably how you say it.
Hey, that's the
best
how I've been told.
pronunciation I've heard.
That's how I've been told. So that's.
It's a cool little knife. It's got the CNC machine Cocobolo handles here with that. What would you call that? Fluting.
Yeah, it's a fluting pattern. I don't know if it's necessarily common, but it definitely has a good look to it. Looks almost like a leaf pattern maybe. And then you have a little Damascus blade there.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely something it's a good looking knife.
Yeah, I like these a lot.
Yeah, if you're into the extended Tang, that's definitely one that you'd want to grab.
And there's quite a few different versions of these.
Yeah. I think we've had black and green and Cocobolo and ones with Damascus, ones without Damascus. So yeah, there's several different models. Then the last two knives we have here are some of the more unique opening mechanisms. These are not common, but they're just kind of cool, and we felt like maybe to spice things up, we do a couple.
Yeah, I think they're cool.
This is the Fulcrum by Columbia River. I know at one of the blade shows, I think maybe 17 or 16, it won an award for innovation for the opening mechanism. It operates on a fulcrum in the middle there, and as you push the front scale forward, you can see it separate from the back scale. So you can see that right there. And it shoots the knife out, and then as you pull the scales back together, it finishes the open. It is a liner lock, and as you release the lock, you'll see that it does the same thing on the way back.
Really cool little knife.
Yeah, it's one of those where if you hand it to somebody and you're like, here you go, and they take it for a second, and then they turn back around to you and they go, how do I open this? It's definitely a conversation starter, and it's one of those that surprisingly, even though it's a unique opening mechanism, it's not terribly expensive. A lot of times if you run into a lot of tooling when you do something unique, and they end up being pretty expensive knives, this one's fairly inexpensive, and it's also one that you could potentially carry on a daily basis because it's not something, once it's open, it's essentially just like any other knife. So you're not going to have any issues like you may see on the last model that we have. But anyway, it's at full speed. It kind of looks like this. Just shoot forward and pull back. Good to go.
Last but most unique, we have the Mantis Gearhead. I'm going to do it in slow motion here so you can kind of see what's going on. So these gears are all aligned, and you have this bar that's moving up here. It is a liner lock. So to open it with any sort of speed, we're going to push this bar up towards the spine here. Really, that's really neat. That's a cool.
You hardly ever see anything where you're pushing anything back towards the spine to open something. Almost always you're sweeping away or going up. Very rarely you're going to see something going back. Like I mentioned before, though, that may not be something you want to carry every day.
It's heavy, but it's really cool.
Yep. And there are plenty of other knives that have kind of unique opening mechanisms. Offhand, I can think of the snap lock.
Yeah.
I think that's Columbia River as well.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different ones. As a matter of fact, if you know of one that has a unique opening mechanism that we didn't show, let us know.
What did we miss?
Because we always like to see new things and check things out. So let us know if there's one that we missed. And yeah.
Also let us know what's your favorite in the comments. Mine's the flipper, personally.
I'm a Thumbstud guy, mainly because of the control it allows. Like I said, I like Benchmade, so I like the combination of the Thumbstud and the axis lock being able to be used either way.
Solid combo.
I really like that. So, but yeah.
If you're a knife guy, you probably own most of these options.
Yeah, you own and operate most of them, I would assume. I know I do, and I enjoy almost all of them, so it really is just kind of a personal
everyone's
preference.
got their preference, so let us know what yours is. That's going to wrap it up. Besides letting us know your favorite let me know which topic you guys want us to do next. Maybe not next, but we'll get it on the list.
Yep.
So if you got questions about steel, different locking mechanisms, different handle materials, what are the different kinds of woods, and
Yep.
yeah, we kind of go over some of those different
Yeah, we'll be touching on a bunch of different
blade
topics.
shapes.
Yeah.
Which blade shapes are good for what tasks? That's a
Yep.
question I get a lot.
Yep.
So that might be an interesting topic. So let me know, what do you want to know, and we'll get working on that.
Yep.
If this is the kind of thing you enjoy watching, more information about knives and learning and seeing kind of a variation, we'll try and get as much as we can, just something that shows an example of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If we can, that is available.
Yeah,
we'll do our best to see that it's available.
Yeah, we'll try and make sure there's a visual representation of what we're talking about. I mean, a lot of people are visual people. I know I am. So hearing somebody talk about something versus seeing it makes a world of difference for me. So, if there's anything, like I said,
so
Jake
if you
was
like
saying,
this sort of information, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell next to it to be notified of new videos.
Yeah, and we'll try to get these done as time allows. But
I'm gonna try and hit these once a month minimum, and then maybe we'll try and do more than that as we get the time. This is in addition to the video knife overviews. We will be we'll continue those in-depth overviews, but we don't want to do just that because it gets boring. Hit the subscribe button, let me know your favorite, and thanks for watching.